Hey, what's up? So, iceberg videos seem to be a pretty big thing out there. And for my first iceberg video, I wanted to do something a little different. Something that is very close to home for me and something that I think is very novel and not very much talked about. This is the Brazilian supernatural incident iceberg, a short and sweet iceberg, just the right thing to cover in a first iceberg video. But I thought it was pretty interesting and I was familiar with a few of the topics, so I decided to give it a go. Without further ado, let's start with the first layer. Number 1. Folklore. This is pretty basic stuff, it's just referencing the widely known folklore of the country, and like most countries, this one gets pretty crazy and wild pretty fast. Some things to note are the Saci, which is just a guy missing a leg who travels on a mini hurricane. There's also the Curupira, a spiky-haired mischief maker who has his feet turned backwards. Yeah, and my personal favorite, the Headless Mule, which is a headless mule. Okay, it's cooler than that actually, because she has fire coming out of her neck, so yeah. Some honorable mentions include the Yara, which is a really long mermaid, the Kuka, which is a sexy crocodile witch, and the Pink Boto, which is sort of a type of dolphin, and this one is actually real by the way, and there's a bunch of other things. Number 2. Haunted Fofão doll. So this is in reference to a doll that was widely distributed in Brazil during the 80s. It was of this weird ass character called Fofão, and I have no idea how someone thought it was gonna be a good idea. Basically, this doll's got a reputation for being haunted. People reportedly found black knives inside the doll, which apparently was associated with some sort of witchcraft. The story told at the time was that the guy who played the character in the TV show where the doll was from made some sort of deal with an evil entity, and that the doll would use the knife to kill children in their sleep. So according to legend, what you were supposed to do was burn the doll and the knife so it wouldn't kill you. I'm not sure how burning a knife was going to be very effective, but anyway, of course this is all legend. The CEO of the company that made the doll came forward and said that the black knife was actually just a thingy to have the head of the doll stay stuck to the body, and it just happened to be pointy, but it wasn't really sharp or anything. It wasn't a blade. Blade or not though, I wouldn't go anywhere near this doll. Have you seen this thing? Number 3. Night of the UFOs. In the night of the 19th of May in 1986, it could be observed in the skies of a multitude of cities in the southeast region of Brazil about 21 unidentified flying objects, allegedly even measuring over 100 meters in diameter. They apparently flew over some sort of military base as well, and they were not only detected by the radars, some of the military people could see them with the naked eye as well. They even sent pilots over to the objects to intercept them, and the pilots reported that these UFOs could hover in the air, change colors, zigzag, and even reach speeds of over 15 times the speed of sound, and they appear to work intelligently. This is but one of the many sightings that happened on this exact same night. It is reportedly the UFO case with the biggest number of eyewitnesses on the planet, and even though this is a widely known event, there still is no explanation for it, so cool. Number 4. Leonis Fritz. Leonis Fritz supposedly was a 13-year-old girl that in 1988 was shown to have supernatural powers. She was reportedly known to be able to use a wide variety of powers, but especially telekinesis. People gave her the nickname of Poltergeist Girl. Apparently she started using her powers from a really young age, using them to mess with people in school, making weird sounds to scare off teachers, making boys' hats fly off their heads, rolling rocks in front of her house with her mind, you know, that sort of stuff. She also allegedly exploded light bulbs and dishes, and the only person who could control her was her father while he was alive. She became popular once the media caught wind of her, and was popularized naturally by this weird video where she moved the covers of her bed with her mind, or I guess. Take this all with a huge grain of salt though, cause it sounds very sketchy to me. Number 5. Yara Hotel. The Yara Hotel was a really popular hotel in the 50s, known for its therapeutic thermal waters and even a small landing site for small aircrafts. It was a success, but after a while the owner got sick and had his legs amputated, which drove him to take his own life. His son took over the business for a while before tragically passing away in a car accident 2 years later. After these tragic events, people started relating supernatural events happening more and more frequently. Doors and windows opening by themselves, weird noises, sinks turning on, you know, the usual. The hotel closed in the 80s, but allegedly there are plans to have it reopened sometime in the future. Though knowing this country, that might take a while. Number 6. Chico Xavier. Francisco Cândido Xavier was a Brazilian medium and philanthropist. He is known today as Brazil's spiritual leader. Xavier wrote over 450 books and was known for his altruistic nature and for writing letters from the afterlife to people who wanted to talk to their lost loved ones, a process known as psychography, okay, to which he did for free, and he allegedly wrote over 10,000 letters. His most known act of mediumness was in an actual court case, in which teenager José Divino Nunes was accused of killing his best friend. The judge used a letter from the already dead victim psychograph that was written by Xavier himself as one of the actual pieces of evidence to have José cleared. Xavier died in 2002 and is widely recognized as a good person who wanted to use his gift for good beyond religious beliefs. Number 7. The Varginha incident. In the evening of the 20th of January 1996, in the city of Varginha in Minas Gerais, 3 women allegedly caught sight of an unknown, horrifying creature, which the ladies later described as looking like the devil itself. The ladies ran back home and told their mother, who didn't believe them at first, but went to the spot herself and said to have felt a horrible stench and saw a weird mark on the ground. A local zookeeper also reported that firefighters brought in a strange creature to the zoo, but it wasn't kept there for long. Additionally, 3 animals died by unknown causes in the following days. Around the same time, multiple eyewitnesses reported sightings of hovering objects in the area. There was also allegedly a leaked radio conversation between a firefighter and a military officer, which implied the capture and imprisonment of an unknown creature. This all sparked a national debate that suggested the capture and cover-up of aliens by the Brazilian government, which the government itself has, of course, denied. So, yeah, take this with a grain of salt. Number 8. The Ubatuba case. In the evening of September the 7th, 1957, in the beach of Toninhas in Brazil, beachgoers had their day interrupted by a huge beam of light that suddenly appeared in the sky. People said that a supposed UFO then came falling down from the sky extremely fast, but quickly it went back up as soon as it was about to hit the sea, only for it to then explode out of nowhere, having multiple pieces of debris laying near the beachgoers, who reported that they were as light as paper, despite their metal appearance. This event obviously didn't go unnoticed by the military, who quickly went by and recovered most of the debris for some secretive research that we still know nothing about to this day. Yeah, we also have no information on whether the thing was being controlled remotely or if it had a pilot, but no bodies were recovered that day. Some research done on the debris recovered by the locals revealed that the object was indeed fabricated somehow and could not have been something formed naturally. Like, yeah, to this day we have no idea what that was. Number 9. The Ipuaçu crop circles. We're all familiar with crop circles, right? Those weird shapes and forms that appear on people's crops mysteriously and are definitely not made by humans. Well, this is just that, but in Brazil. The city of Ipuaçu in Santa Catarina is known for having these mysterious shapes appearing regularly on the local crops. The latest one appearing last month. Well, by the time I'm writing this, anyway. The city has itself a small reputation of having some UFO sightings, but not anything super noteworthy other than the crop circles themselves. Some of them are proven to be man-made, but some appear to have no explanation behind them. And yeah, that's it. Moving on. Number 10. The Prato Operation. This was a military operation carried out by the Brazilian Air Force at the city of Colares after allegations of UFOs in the area. Man, aliens really love Brazil, huh? Anyway, this operation was carried out for 4 months. I'm not sure what they were doing, but they did have this picture taken. See, look at that. Cool, right? The supposed objects were described as just being lights in the sky, and they ended up being known as Chupa Chupa. That's an awful name. It literally means suck suck. Official military reports have varied, but some of them have attributed the phenomena to mass hysteria. I don't know how that explains the weird picture, but whatever. Number 11. The haunting of the Joelma building. The Joelma building was the place where one of the biggest, most damaging fires ever took place in the summer of 1974. It was a true tragedy that left many people injured and many were unfortunately killed. Something noteworthy to mention was that 13 of the victims were found hugging each other in an elevator pit. And many people believe that these 13 souls still haunt the walls of the Joelma building, and they're known to this day as the 13 souls. To this day, people still claim to hear the 13 souls screaming and crying in agony in the building, along with ghostly apparitions and things like that. These claims are not very substantial though, so take this with a grain of salt. Number 12. The Agenor Andrade Filho case. Also known as the Invisible Rocks incident, this case refers to an occurrence in 1958 with a man called Agenor, who unfortunately passed away after some poor surgery complications. Agenor had stones in his kidneys and had to have them removed on surgery, which is what led him to his unfortunate demise. What's curious about it though are the stones themselves. Once they were removed and put in a vial, the doctors noted that they just kind of went invisible. They shook the dial and sure enough could hear the sounds of the rocks shaking there, but they were invisible. This case was then submerged and hidden, until it was found again in 2013 in an underground vault in a hospital. That's weird. This whole case sounds weird and I couldn't really find a lot about it, so take it with a grain of salt. Number 13. The Mirasol case. This refers to a supposed case of quote-unquote alien abduction that happened to Brazilian security guard Antonio Carlos Ferreira. According to him, Antonio was patrolling in his workplace at around 3 in the morning when he was approached by 3 humanoid figures who shot him with some sort of zap gun and then kidnapped him. He was then taken to a ship and forced to intercourse with an alien lady. Yeah, he was later zapped again and taken back. Antonio described the aliens as being around 4 feet tall with elven ears and spoke a language similar to Japanese. Okay, man. Not only that, but Antonio also claimed to have met up with the aliens again about 3 years later, and the alien lady met up with him again with what appeared to be a small alien child. That's okay, man. Yeah. Between 1979 and 1989, Antonio related around 10 other cases where he met up with the aliens once again. This guy was meeting up with aliens for over 10 years and there's no proof at all. There's not really a lot on this incident, but this one is really trippy and weird, and let's just move on to the last one. Number 14. The Varginha ET was sold to the USA. So we've talked about the Varginha incident already here, and this just refers to the fact that many people believe that the supposed alien bodies from the incident were sold to the United States, and that's where they are right now. Not much is known on this specifically, but the US did take a pretty big interest in the case at the time. So, you know, if there were alien bodies there that day, it's not out of the question that they were sold and stuff. And that's it. That was the Iceberg. This was pretty fun to do. I love covering mysteries like this, especially ones taking place in my home countries, so maybe I'll do more stuff like this later. Like always, take all of this with a grain of salt. It's fun to theorize and speculate about mysteries like this, but it's also important to be a little bit skeptical, while also keeping an open mind. That's it for now though. Thanks for watching, and my question for you today is, what is your favorite kind of Brazilian martial art? Okay, bye.